3 on the Fan. Boomer Carton in the morning. Hey, by the way, I don't know if you looked at any of the spreads for this week's divisional games. Are there any of the spreads, as you say, quote-unquote, talking to you?
Hey, little thing, let me light your candle, because the Kansas City Chiefs Steeler game is an interesting spread. New England's, a 16-point favorite right now.
Right.
You got to lay the wood. I don't know. I wouldn't bet the game at all, but if you're going to bet it, you're going to lay it.
Brock Osweiler going up against the best defense when it comes to scoring defense in the NFL.
I can't remember a divisional round playoff game in which a team was favored by more than 2 touchdowns. I'm sure it's happened, but I don't know. To me, it's just like that's like backdoor cover written all over it. So anyway, that's one. The Chiefs are at home. And that game is a 1.5-point spread.
Meaning a lot of people put money on the Steelers.
All the money's on the Steelers. Now, you can do that one of 2 ways. One, it's because there's a knee-jerk reaction to Wild Card Weekend, right? Team looks really good, Wild Card Weekend. They run the ball great. Their quarterback's a stud. They've got one of the best wide receivers in the game. Defensively, they came to hurt people last weekend. So the immediate reaction is, I just saw them play. They're really, really good.
And their defense is awesome.
My money's on them.
But, their defense played Matt Moore.
Right, at home.
At home. So I would just be careful. I was saying the reoccurring theme for me coming out of Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah.
All the home teams that I picked to win, and we picked to win here.
Yeah.
I think you might have picked the Giants, but
I did.
Picked to win. Exploited every single flaw that their opponents brought into those games last weekend. And when you look at it, the Lions couldn't run the ball, Seattle, and they couldn't stop the run. So what did Seattle do? They had their best rushing game, and Matthew Stafford couldn't get anything done. The Giants' offense, woefully inconsistent all year long, had a chance early to score points. What did they do? They set up for field goals. The defenses collapsed. The offense starts turning the ball over. A blowout at the hands of the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
You take a look at what the Houston Texans is. They beat a rookie quarterback. Oakland had no chance in that game, and you're talking about the number 1 defense overall in total yards given up in their building. So they took advantage of that. And then the other game was what was the other game? Come on, help me.
What, the Houston-Oakland game? You did that one already?
The Packers, the Giants, the Steelers over Miami.
Houston-Oakland.
Yeah, Houston-Oakland.
And Detroit.
Seattle. So I hit them all.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Now, all those teams that won last week now go on the road. And think of who the Packers are playing. They're playing the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but that's the one spread that's standing out to me.
When we come in here Monday morning, I believe that you're going to be sitting here going, wow, the Packers defense really isn't that good.
Cowboys should be favored by more.
Well, it's Aaron Rodgers.
I know,
Aaron
but
Rodgers,
it's a 4-point spread.
And most likely they are. Most likely, I don't believe that Jordy Nelson's going to play for the rest of the playoffs, even if somehow they do upset the Cowboys. But the Cowboys' offensive line will maul the defensive line of the Packers.
You asked if there's a spread that stands out to me. The Dallas Cowboys should be favored by more than 4 points. They're at home.
Every one of the
13-3.
Every one of the teams on the road this week will face a vastly, vastly better opponent than they did the week before, and for all the reasons that they won last week are most likely the reasons why they're going to lose this week.
Yeah, listen, everyone likes New England. We're on board with that. I don't have to pick that game. New England's going to win, and whatever the score is, they're going to win. I don't know if they'll cover 16, but they're going to win. Atlanta is favored by 4.5 against Seattle. And the Cowboys are favored by 4.5 against the Packers. Both those spreads are too small. Both of them.
Well, here's the thing, though.
To me,
3 out of the 4 teams on the road, though.
Yeah.
Think about this: 3 of the 4 teams that are on the road this weekend have Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
Doesn't matter to me.
Have coaches who've won Super Bowls. Are experienced beyond experienced.
Yep.
And I think that there's a lot of the betting public buys into who those guys are and what their track records have been.
Yeah, those spreads should be higher.
That's why I like the fact that
I think Green Bay keeps it close.
That's why I hope this week's games are much better than last week, because Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, and Russell Wilson are all on the road.
I think Seattle keeps it close. Atlanta should be favored by 6.5. Dallas should be favored by the same. No Jordy Nelson. When it's all said and done.
Seattle played at home last week against the Detroit Lions team that was fading towards the end of the year and could not run the ball worth a lick, and certainly with all the drop passes that we saw, weren't ready for prime time. Now they go on the road against Kyle Shanahan, who's the offense coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, and maybe the best, most balanced offense in the football that can run it, throw it, and has been virtually unstoppable
I hate
all
Seattle.
year.
That game's going to be close.
And remember, Atlanta went out there and didn't they beat them or almost beat them?
I'm telling you right now.
Remember Richard Sherman and Julio Jones at the end of the game there, the interference and all that stuff? The game was close. I think Seattle might have won 30-28 or 28-27 or something.
I'm telling you right now. It was 26-24. Seahawks won by 2.
There you go.
That was back in October, right?
Yep.
Seahawks aren't afraid of Atlanta.
You want to know something? That's when Atlanta realized that they had a good team because of that game, even though they lost it.
Those 2 games are going to be close. They are. The Green Bay is going to keep it close. Seattle's going to keep it close. And then Chiefs Steelers, it's a 1.5 point spread. I don't know how you properly handicap that game. I would take Kansas City because they're home, and Andy Reid in the playoffs is 3-0 off a bye week. Has always been good off bye weeks in the regular season as well.
I think 16-2 in the regular season as head coach of the Eagles and the Chiefs.
So I would take Kansas City on that alone. I would. And I don't know how bad Roethlisberger's foot is. If he becomes totally immobile.
God, he's fine.
Oh, you think he's looking for attention? You think that's what it is?
He's fine.
Attention whoring himself?
I don't know if he's attention whoring himself, but he's fine.